Hello and indeed welcome to another Whiskey Review with me, the Whiskey Novice. Thank you for joining me for review number 169. I'm still here freezing my ass off for the purposes of reviewing whiskey. And this time it is part 3 of my latest series of the Perfect 10, as we've been calling it. And the Laphroaig Sherry Oak Finish 10-year-old. I believe this to be, I did look into it, it's certainly the 2020 version, which I think was it released in 2020-21, but I believe this to be batch 1 of them, just for anybody that's checking. I did check out the code. I don't have it, I struggled to see it in this light, but I struggled to find the codes of the batch releases, but I know there was an L1026, which I think was the batch 2, and this is L1025, which would suggest then that it's batch 1. Just for those who are checking, because there will be batch variation. So this, the 10-year-old Sherry Oak Edition, bottled at 48%. I struggled to find anywhere as to whether it was chill filtered or colour added. Hard to know, probably not, but we'll just run with it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to suggest that it's not chill filtered, because I remember now when I was doing my tasting notes, this did go a touch cloudy with water in it. So I'm going to suggest that it's definitely not chill filtered. There's colour added, possibly, because it is a weird brown colour. You know the way sometimes it's a weird brown colour. Anyway, I believe this gets much the same maturation as the 10-year-old, and then just gets an extra sherry finish on it. Once again, very difficult to find any definitive things on it, any definitive answers. That's the word I'm looking for. Answers. Let's just get in, shall we? Now, when I was doing my tasting notes for this, when I started, I thought to myself, there's something I'm getting here. Is it coal tar soap? And it wasn't. What it reminded me of, and anybody who knows me and knows me well knows that there's not a lot going on under this hat. I'm not trying to hide the fact I just like hats. I did have hair once, and but I could smell a shampoo, and a very distinct shampoo. There was a shampoo that I knew this smelt like, and I did what I usually do when I struggle with things like that. I went and shoved this glass under Mrs. Novice's nose. Quite literally. I said, what shampoo does that smell like? And she went, Vosine. And that was it. There was no questions asked. What shampoo is that? Vosine. So I don't know how international Vosine is, but this, if you do know Vosine, or if you've had the shampoo, Vosine, whatever it is that it smells like, it also smells like this. Maybe that doesn't sound terribly appealing, because who wants to drink shampoo? But it's a lovely smell. It is actually a nice smell, and I couldn't nail down what it was, but it's that shampoo. As to what that shampoo smells like, well, it smells like Laphroaig 10-year-old Sherry Oak, doesn't it? It is strange. The peat and the sherry finish on them almost balance each other out to the point where they almost cancel each other out. There's nothing overly smoky or medicinal about it. Neither is there anything terribly fruitcakey or anything about it. It just, they almost cancel each other out. So, let's then try to find notes. So, raisins. Well, yes, I would say you're getting hints of raisin on it. Mixed pale, yes, but it's getting the brain ticking over. So the smokiness is starting to appear now, but it's starting to appear as bacon, smoky bacon, crispy bacon. And then jam, and then hints of shoe polish. So this is another one of those I say it about Ardbeg quite a few times, where for every funky off note, there's a bright, sweet, fruity note. It's good, if just a little confused, I think would be the best way. Or maybe it's me that's a little confused, but there's just something a bit confused about the nose in this. It's the palate that fixes that. Rich, sweet, sour, ever so slightly bitter arrival. It's a typical Laphroaig undercoat. You couldn't mistake this. Typical Laphroaig undercoat with the sherry on top. Hey, you like it? But that would suggest almost that it's not balanced, that it's two separate things. It is balanced, definitely. I would suggest that if you're put off by heavily phenolic whiskies, which, as we all know, Laphroaig can be, you may enjoy this. You may enjoy this more because the sherry in this, as short as it probably is, definitely counteracts that smokiness or medicinal note. And it all tends to round off with orange, chocolate, new leather. Yeah. Still an oddity. Even on the palate. What a good oddity. Finish. Long as I would expect. Kind of radish-like heat on the back of it. And definitely hints of candied orange. And I think I said even that chocolate hangs through in the finish. And barbecue sauce and clove. There's the finish is actually very good in this. There's an awful lot going on in the finish. I said before, where a whiskey can, for me, fall on the finish because it's just gone. It disappears and leaves you. I want a whiskey to leave me wanting to go back for more, and this left me wanting to go back for more. So, touch of water, sweet, becomes slightly funky. There's a note on the label, Manuka honey, and I would agree. Yes, because there's a funky note off that. Still, it's got that Vosine shampoo note, which is very, very strange. Palate becomes sweeter, more sherry-like, more chocolatey. Feels less like two things working together, or what way to put this? It's more balanced. Touch of water, becomes more like one unit. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah, and even the finish works better with that touch of water. Definitely a little confused, this whiskey, but annoyingly a little moreish as well. Actually, it's quite moreish. You do want to go back for more. With that said, at around the sort of, I think I've seen this as low as 50, as high as 65. Would I replace it? I don't think I would, personally. I just found it a bit strange. It's another one of those ones that I think if you have to work hard to get it, I've struggled with this bottle a little. It was only sitting down and doing my tasting notes that I really sort of started to come to grips with it. I'll finish it in time, but I don't know whether I would replace it or not. So we'll leave it at that. So yeah, confused. It is a bit, in my opinion. Laphroaig, I think I've said recently, and I'll continue to say, Laphroaig I enjoy. They're very capable, and but just I don't know whether they've nailed this with the sherry on top. Done it again. So what then would I suggest as an alternative? Well, it's another one that I found a little confusing, but I'm suggesting this because if you bought the Laphroaig sherry oak finish and you want an alternative that you haven't tried yet, it's time to get the old magic hands going again and to get warmed up a bit while I'm doing it. I'm going to suggest to you this. It's one that I haven't replaced yet, but I will, and one that I fell in love with, and the same might happen with Laphroaig, and it's Kilchoman, the Kilchoman Sannig. I said when I reviewed Kilchoman Sannig that I found it a bit confusing, I found it a bit, unbalanced, it was hard work, etc. But the closer I got to the end of that bottle, the more and more I wanted another one, and I will get another one, I just haven't got around to it yet. And the same might happen with this Laphroaig, because sometimes bottles just do that, don't they? That even you find them a little off-putting. Yes, neck pours will be tight. Yes, you get down to the shoulder, it's maybe not for you, but over time you do start to discover that you love them. And as I said, Kilchoman Sannig did that for me. Laphroaig sherry oak finish may do the same. We will see. So yes, if you've had Laphroaig sherry oak cask finish and you enjoyed it, I'm going to suggest to you Laphroaig Sannig. No, not Laphroaig Sannig. Kilchoman Sannig. Go. It is still mighty cold here. The brain stops working. So we'll leave it at that. Yes, confusing. Might enjoy it more. Maybe I should come back whenever this is finished. I don't know. Until the next time, I'll just say thank you very much for joining me. Always a pleasure. Thank you very, very much to my patrons. Should you wish to join that group, the details are in the video description below. Till the next time, my friends, I'm off to sit in front of the fire. Here's to your good health. Cheers.
Hey, thanks for watching my video. Please click and subscribe to be notified of further content.